What's going on, y'all? Mechee from the Midwest Podcast. I'm Mechee, your host. I wanted to get in here, tell everyone Happy Juneteenth Day. And if you don't know what Juneteenth is, I want to explain it, just give you a little in-depth meaning of it, how it can be celebrated, what it means to the culture. Just to start it off, Juneteenth. The story behind that was June 19th of 1865 was when enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, were finally freed. The only issue with this is that it took over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation for all slaves, for the word to get sent to all slaves. And I know you wonder, like, how could that possibly happen? How can um, June 19th be the final day of slavery, but then 2 years later, people were still working at slavery? And I did a little research, and what I came up with, and it all makes sense now, was been making sense. But one of the key things was that we didn't have social media back then. We didn't have phones and stuff, so it was like you would call, hey, up north, hey, all this slaves free, y'all gotta let them go. That's not how it works, man. So I just wanted to tell y'all a couple of things that what went wrong with this. As far as the delay, they said Texas was remote and less involved in the war. So Texas wasn't a major battleground during the Civil War, with fewer Union troops present. Slave owners faced less pressure to comply with the proclamation, and enslavers deliberately withheld information. Many plantation owners knew about the Emancipation Proclamation, but intentionally didn't tell the people they enslaved. They wanted to squeeze out one last cotton harvest before the slaves found out. That's all you need to know. Back in the days with slavery, man, like I said, it was a horrible time for minorities like blacks and stuff like that. But during that time, they were willing to continue to keep you as a slave as long as they could. And it was because, like I said, they found out word that it was true that the slaves was free. But it's like I'm not about to just give up my slave, just let y'all walk out the door as if we ain't owned y'all and y'all been doing our work for all these years. So what they decided to do, like I said, for 2 years was hold on to them as long as they could, and finally all the slaves were free. You fast forward to the 1900s, the early 1900s, mid 1900s. You had all these race wars going on and stuff, and it just shows you how far Black people have come over these years. And one thing I want to say is like Juneteenth is the same comparison as July 4th. Um, I'm 30. I'm 38 years old. My whole life, July 4th has been that holiday that everybody loves. We all get together with the family. We barbecue. We spend time with family members. We wear red, white, and blue to support the USA. But a key day was Juneteenth, man. Just to know that our ancestors from the 1800s were finally freed and able to not be slaves anymore. And I think this is, I've always said this, I've been on record saying this, one of the biggest issues in America is always going to be racism until we look at each other and realize we're not the problem. We can actually work together. We can love one and each other. We can love each other without no issue. It doesn't have to be about the color of my skin that makes you hate me or makes you feel like we're all the same, because that's is bullshit. Um, I served in the military. I served in the military for 8 years. They had every single color up in the military. I didn't look at not one of them and say, if I was to have to go to war with this guy, I would kick him to the curb because of the color of his skin. We've dealt with that our whole life. And this is not a race bait episode or anything like that. This is just me being real about what I feel about holidays and how we should be celebrated. And one thing I say is, like with social media could be an enemy at times. I got on there today. I was reading through comments, and like for example, AEW. It's a wrestling program. Now they got every color on there. They got white, black, Mexican. They got everybody on there. Everybody's been champion on that on there. It's the opposite of WWE. They got black and white champions as well, Hispanic champions, all that. I was going through the comments, and something that struck my nerve, and it always does, is when older people. It was a 78-year-old lady on there, and she said that I've never heard of Juneteenth. Why are we celebrating this? As if she doesn't know what it is. Okay, maybe she doesn't know what it is, but the thing about it is that if you're 78 years old and you don't know what Juneteenth is, maybe you should do a little research. Instead of getting on social media, try to get laughs and giggles from your friends and people that don't really care for other races and stuff like that. You should go do your research because this has always been a problem. If you're in your 70s, you've dealt with racism as well, you know about racism. Why not take this time to school your younger generation? If you got grandkids, why can't you sit down with them and let them know what Juneteenth means for the minorities? How why this was so big to them, and why not? You don't have to celebrate the day; it's okay. But going forward, if your family members were to end up being in a relationship with a black man or a black woman, you should know these things about their background and what subjects can be touchy and stuff like that, and how we can do better as a community to look past it and say, look, slavery days is over, man. We can all get along. We shouldn't be hating each other on the color of our skin. And I just find it corny when people find it hilarious that that people were once slaves, that black people were once slaves before. And you think about, if we're all an image of God, why is it that black and white people can't get along? And it's like I said, it always comes back to this racist bullshit. Is that they just look down on black people for so much. Like I said, I've got friends from every parts of life, black, white, Hispanic, all that type of stuff. Um, I just feel like going forward, we need to educate ourselves more. That's the only way we're going to be able to get to an understanding, because we're not going to be here forever. This next generation coming up, the generations after that, somebody has to break that cycle and say, look, we're not teaching that in my house. Black people, not the enemies, they're not animals or nothing like that. And then in black communities, we shouldn't be teaching our kids, oh, don't fuck with white people and stuff like that. It should never be that way. We should be able to talk to each other and treat each other with respect. And that's just how it should be, man. So, like I said, I don't really condone the bullshit. But if you are racist and you make it known, then that's the type of people I don't fuck with. If I don't fuck with people that are just blatantly just racist. Just like I don't like to make this political, but like if you're a Trump supporter, I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or not. But the moment you start speaking down as if a black person that doesn't have the same voice as you, that's when it becomes a problem, man. So I know I might be all over the place. Let me get back on track. As far as Juneteenth, this is a holiday. They said, like, this is a federal holiday now. It just became a federal holiday 2 years ago. Um, for people that's not minority, I hear a lot of y'all get on social media and complain, talking about some, I don't care about the day. Well, guess what? Take your ass to work. Go to work today. Nobody cares. We're going to celebrate with or without you. It doesn't matter to me. Um, with the Fourth of July, I don't look at it any different. Once it, this is the thing about Juneteenth and Fourth of July. When you look at Fourth of July, you don't hear black people getting on platforms or speaking out loud saying, "What the hell we celebrate Fourth of July for? They ain't never did shit for." No, we take it as a free day off of work, a day that we can spend with our family, barbecue, shoot fireworks and shit like that, because it's Independence Day for everyone. But Juneteenth is specifically for the minorities that were slaves. From what my understanding is, I don't recall any other race being slaves. Now, I know some people will get in my comments and say, well, black people were selling other black people. Okay, I get it. But there were also white slave owners owning black people. I don't recall black slave owners owning white people. That's the difference there. So take the bullshit away. Just focus on the holiday, man. This is a day that we remember our ancestors. We thank our ancestors for all the sacrifices they made, so we can live the way we do now. If this would have never happened, it'd be 2025. Black people could still be slaves, but thankfully they figured out stuff back in the days that helped us rise above there and give us a chance to live our life and be treated equally. Now, like I said, at times I don't feel like we are treated equally, but all I can do is my part. All I can do is treat everybody with love and respect until you disrespect. That's when the line is drawn. But I'm never going to teach my daughter to hate people. For example, I said I don't like to get personal, but my daughter, like, her favorite friend is a white guy, a young white kid. I won't say his name, but she speaks so highly of him. I pray every night. My daughter's been praying with me. She always says his name. She said, "Hey, what about so and so? Can we pray for him?" My fiance could tell y'all this. It's funny because it's like this is a 5 year old expressing how much of a this person means to her. And as she gets older, one day she's gonna remember him, even though they won't be going to school together no more. But she'll remember him, and I'll be able to tell her like, "Look, this was one of your favorite friends as a kid." I'm not gonna teach my kid, "Oh, don't like him because he's white," or "Don't like her because she's Hispanic." I will never do that, and you shouldn't be teaching your kids that either. So, for Juneteenth, going forward, we should treat this as it's a federal holiday. This is a day to remember your ancestors. Get some stuff on the grill, barbecue, play some good music. If it's some events going on, go out there, show support. If you know any black-owned businesses, post them in the comments and purchase items, man. Just we got to do better at supporting each other instead of trying to hate each other and find ways to hate each other because it's pointless, man. We'll never get ahead in life if we continue to hate each other. We are not the enemies. We are not the enemies. So all I wanted to say was get on here and say Happy Juneteenth Day. Um, Take a moment to, like I said, do your research and educate your people, man. Educate your people. Educate your family. Educate your kids. If you got any negative thing to say about it, just keep it to yourself, man. It doesn't. It don't matter because, like I said, at the end of the day, we have to do better at getting along so we can live as long as we can and be peaceful as we can, man. So that's all I had, man. I just want to get on here and say Happy Juneteenth. Y'all go out there and celebrate, enjoy y'all day, keep it peaceful, stay away from the disrespect, any of the negative bullshit going on out there. But as we get older, hopefully that these next generations come up, start to get it that it ain't got to be this way. We do so much better. We can make so much more money, um, build so much more if we work together. As they say that we're in the USA, we should all be on the same team anyway. So that's all I got, y'all. Happy holidays. Thank y'all for tuning into the Meet You from the Midwest podcast. Like, share, subscribe to the Meet You from the Midwest podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.